When you were pregnant with Brody, what was life like at that point? What was your job, your home environment?
Was living in a trailer out in the country, there in Newton. We had well water, and I worked, I think, 20 hours a week.
The day, that Friday, that Brody died, can you walk me through what the day was like from when you got up and kind of what the day brought and then how it ended and then the next few days after that?
I got up at 7 o'clock, or it was like 6, because Audrey went to school, got on the bus, came back in, and he was really fussy. So I tried to feed him, and he didn't eat very much. We went and paid insurance, and he cried the whole time. And then I took him to daycare, and he calmed down, and I went to work. And then at 4 o'clock is when I got the phone call.
And who called you?
Dale. He said that something was wrong with Brody, he's not breathing. I called my boss. There was people in the store, you know, so I didn't feel like I could leave without getting in trouble. And she goes, oh no, something like that, you tell them people to leave and you lock up and you go. So I flew to the hospital, and Mom and my whole family was there already.
So what'd you do next?
I just sat there in the emergency room, just holding him, just staring at him till like 8 o'clock that night. When the coroner lady came in and said that she needed to examine him, I said, go ahead, I'm not leaving. I want to see what you're seeing. I want to know. And she uncovered him, and you can tell, you could see all the marks where they tried to revive him. So it was just, I was in shock. Like, this is a very, very bad dream. Just kept staring at him like, this isn't my kid. This isn't my baby.
So Brody was with a child care provider at the time.
Yep.
Did anybody come back and tell you what had happened that afternoon at child care?
The next day, I think, we went and I talked to her, and she said that I had left, and about 2 o'clock, he started getting fussy, so she fed him his bottle and then went and laid him down, and didn't go back until about 3:30. She said that when she laid him down and shut the door, he coughed, and she didn't go back and check on him. So he laid there until she went back in 2 hours later.
And at that point,
He was gone.
he had stopped breathing.
Mm-hmm. Dell and the daughter tried to do CPR, and the EMS guy said that it was Dell's fault, that he didn't do CPR right. It's his fault the milk came back up. And I'm like, Dell said that he was already gone. Just the color and the way he looked, it was too late.
Did he have a cold?
He was a little sick the week before.
To the level where you took him to the hospital or to the doctor's office, or?
He went for a checkup. I asked the doctor to look at him and breathe, because his breath was, that's how he normally breathed, and doctor didn't turn around, nothing was done. He said, you know, it's normal, he'll grow out of it. Then a week later, he was gone.
So did he always breathe this way?
Every now and then, yeah.
Did it seem normal to you?
No. But I'm not a doctor, and so when the doctor said it's normal, he'll grow out of it, I didn't second guess him.
When medical information was shared with you and it was difficult to understand, how would you figure it out?
I'd walk out of the room and call my aunt. I wouldn't ask them directly, which you need to do. If you don't understand something, you need to sit there and ask.
Why didn't you ask them?
Fear of looking not smart. Just another reason for them doctors to look down upon us.
Do you trust your physicians?
Somewhat.
Do you feel like you have a relationship with your physician?
Not really. I haven't even seen my physician in 2 years.
When you went to the clinic, How did you feel you were treated?
Nice. They were fine, you know, greeted us nice and fine, but go in the room and ask a question, and for the doctor not to even turn around, you know, that kind of struck me as odd. That, you know, I had a question on something, they could have done a little more follow-up on it.
Why do you think they didn't?
I have no clue. Maybe because we were on the medical card.
What does that mean?
I wasn't paying for health insurance. It was covered by the state. So maybe we were looked down on because of that.
How about medical care with the girls now? Where do you go for medical care? How has any of that changed, or your approach to how they get medical care?
I'm a little leery. They don't go back to that same clinic. So.
Did you talk with the clinic again?
Nope.
What do you wish they knew?
How, I don't know, maybe if they would have looked into his breathing more, that maybe he'd still be here.
So from your recollection, from what the doctor said at the very end, I mean, you believe that he died because of breathing issues. Do you remember what they put on the death certificate?
No.
Okay. If it was SIDS or sleep related?
I don't even know. I don't even think I really looked at it. I just folded it and put it in an envelope.
What's your initial reaction?
Ouch, it hurts. I've seen too many kids die of SIDS when I was with Indian Health Service. I've seen it happen since. I mean, there's something wrong with the universe when a child dies before its parents, okay? The universe is upside down, and it's just wrong.
So Amber said that she thought maybe her provider looked down on her because she had a medical card. What do you make of that?
I get paid less for the patients we see with a medical card than I do with insurance. I used to work for a large multi-specialty clinic, and I would get talked to periodically because I would let too many people with Medicaid down to my panel. So there was a demographic in that clinic to try to make more money. I eventually left the clinic, started solo, and just against some people's advice, just threw the doors open and said, you know, we'll see you. I consider our clinic to be one rung on a ladder to get out of poverty. Otherwise, you can't get out of poverty unless you've got good health.
So you flung open the doors and accepted anyone. Yeah. How has that affected your practice?
We're fine. The bills get paid. In our clinic, we see 41 to 43% Medicaid at any given time, and that doesn't count the people who are just sort of a step ahead of Medicaid who still have a hard time paying.
If this had been your patient, how would you have followed up with her?
I don't know if the physician could have made a difference when they saw the child a week earlier. I would make an argument that the system and maybe the physician at some level failed the mom by not giving a few more seconds to that question.
In the video, she also says that she doesn't know what the cause of death is 5-6 years later. Why do you think?
Everybody thinks that she's been told. When it's everybody's responsibility, nobody does it. When everybody is convinced that the system gets too big.
So whose job is it?
I don't know. I don't. I do it because they're my patient. Sudden infant death can happen even if you've done everything right. But it would be nice to have done everything right before we got there.